warning before you listen. This epic is not for children, nor for the faint of heart. We retell the ancient Greek myths as they were born, unfiltered, unsoftened. Scenes of violence, curses, betrayals, and a hunger for power that shows no mercy. Given the many conflicting versions of the Titan War, the events have been rebuilt to complete the missing pieces. Here, we tell the myth as it was meant to be told. Sources and references are listed in the episode description. Chapter 103. Lightning Above Time. Zeus ascends. When the god rose, it was to shatter the very hand that made him. The sky was not blue. It looked torn from a forgotten dream and died with a fury no creature on earth could understand. Cronus appeared, not as a father, not as a king, but as a corpse that refused to be buried. Beneath him, the legions of the Titans stretched like a storm without end. Behind him, shadows with no names, soldiers of time, not bearing faces, but only echoes of who they were when tyranny first drew breath. Cronus stood at the edge of the sky, his hand prying open the fabric of time like a wound forced to speak. And his voice wasn't a voice. It was command, undeniable. "I have come to rewrite," he declared. "Those who thought lightning would rule will be the first to fade at the taste of a true storm." The winds ignited. The air itself began to choke. Every breath in the heavens turned against Zeus. But Zeus had already chosen. The light cracked open, and through it, he rose. No wings, no crown. Only lightning, held as if it were a heart still beating. Zeus did not descend. He ascended, as though the sky had always been waiting to open for him alone. His aura wasn't gold. It was the first light, the one that stabbed the dark when life first dared to exist. Behind him came legions, uncountable, faceless, but their eyes held thunder. And that was enough to make time itself stutter. He approached, said nothing, just looked. Then, one step forward, his right hand empty, yet space recoiled as if struck. He spoke, and it was not a voice. It was a lightning bolt, sharpened into a sentence. "Cronus, when you swallowed my brothers, I was learning how to forge lightning. When you cursed the hours and broke the day, I was gathering a single moment to drive it into your heart. When you tore my mother with a gaze that knew no mercy, I was learning how to tear your chest open without regret. You call yourself Lord of Time? Fine, but when time begins to rot, it is not worshipped, it is slaughtered." Then he raised his hand, and the sky lit up without permission, as if light itself had waited centuries for that one command. Cronus laughed, but it wasn't a human laugh, nor that of a god. It was the sound of memory breaking, of time forgetting itself. The sound walls make when they don't know where they began or how they'll end. He spoke, his voice slicing the air. When you crawled from the womb of the traitor, I wrapped time around your neck like a leash. When I stopped the seconds, I saw you squirm in the earth's belly, and I laughed. Because you had nothing, only waiting. You think you forged lightning? I forged the night itself, the night your lightning needs to be seen. I shattered the future into shards, then redrew it as a shackle on the wrist of every newborn. Yes, you broke the leash, but those who break time's leash do not set themselves free. They open the gate to the curse. Now, I will break the neck. I will return lightning to its shadow, rebellion to its grave, and the sky to its rightful god. And in that moment, the clouds fell silent. It was not peace. It was the breath before devastation. The air split. The stars recoiled. The heavens were never meant to hold two gods, nor two screams. Then the moment exploded, but without a sound, as if even fear itself had backed away. And that was the end of the threat, the beginning of the clash, a war not yet written. This chapter of the epic has come to an end, but remember, what you've just heard is not a record of facts, but the echo of a myth, a story born from the imagination of the ancients, etched into the long memory of humankind. If this tale stirred something in you, if it opened a door to reflection or wonder, don't forget to support the channel and share the journey with those you love. And in the comments, tell us which moment in this chapter struck you the most and why. We'll meet again in the next chapter of this audio odyssey through time. Until then, farewell.